My working space has gotten a little bit messy. I know I haven't been snapping about work lately, but I have had a lot going on. I've got a goal I'm working on at the moment to reshape my business. That was my self-assessment for the business coach last week of where I'm at, my spider graph. He said I was being very harsh on myself in some of these ones that I'd rated low, but hey, that's me, always setting the standard high. So I'm using a working out loud circle to help me work towards this goal. For anyone who's not familiar with a working out loud circle, you can look it up at workingoutloud.com, but it's basically a small peer group that you get together with once a week for 12 weeks. You have guides you work through, and the idea is that you set yourself a goal. Each person has their own goal, and you seek to build relationships with others outside of your circle, although the circle certainly helps, but you seek to build relationships with others that can help move you in the direction of your goal. Now, if there's one thing I really do know how to do, that is to reach out to people purposefully in a network, to build relationships from a space of generosity and contribution, and to both contribute and utilise the offerings of the network to propel me forward towards a goal. So that's not why I do these working out loud circles anymore. And this is actually the first one I've done all year. What I find is two things. One is the accountability of turning up every week with a group of people to say, did I do what I was going to do? So it helps keep my goal top of mind and propels me forward. That's really helpful. And the other thing is building this little space where you have a trusted group of people where you can discuss your goal and use them as a sounding board. I find that really helpful to help me think through what I've been doing, where I'm headed, and to get insights from the group. Clean this mess up and then get on with my next highest priority task for the day. It's better. I've sorted everything in my in trays, thrown out stuff I didn't need, put my weekly to-do list up here. I'm set to go again. Preparing for a call I've got tomorrow with an existing client about some strategic work to help them with an implementation strategy and plan for a more sustainable way of doing business, a more sustainable approach to learning in their organisation. And I'm using some new approaches and tools to guide the discussion. I'm kind of finding it, getting my head around how's this all going to hang together is really interesting. And I think this approach is going to be a much quicker way to how I've worked in the past to develop strategy and implementation plans. Got this learning and development operating model canvas, this one-page canvas, which is a high-level approach to developing or implementing your strategy. So it starts with understanding who your customers are and the value proposition, which is really around the business value, and then looking at your learning methods, and then these different elements to figure out whether they're all aligned and are going to land you on the customer value proposition. So the other thing I'm looking to do differently is to work in a series of sprints. So each of these sprints lasts 2 weeks and each builds on the work of the other. And then at the end of this third sprint, we'll have looked at their operating model, identified any gaps, anything that needs to be better aligned. We'll have an implementation plan, and we'll have a capability plan for development of their L&D team. So the clients come back to me and they're interested in knowing what might be required after the third sprint. I can give them some feel for this, but until we do the implementation planning, I can't confidently tell them. I think they're more concerned about what might the budget commitment be and what might the commitment of their time and my time be. So I think there's ways of approaching that without being able to detail exactly what the work might be. And the other thing is they're sort of curious around, well, how would we transition to a different way of working, or what might that way of working look like? So again, I can give them some feel for that, but that really is a body of work that we would need to do together and collaboratively with the business as part of implementing a new way of working. It'd be fantastic to be involved with seeing this piece of work through, given that I ran the workshop that led them to the strategy in the first place, and I think I can add value. So I'm just going to trust the process, trust that if there is value to be added and I'm the right person to add it, that will be apparent through the discussions, and we can line up this work to get started during the month of October, which of course we are in now.